Zohran can't make your wishes come true. You're thinking of Zoltar. Democrats must recognize that Zohran Mamdani, all the left-leaning think tanks have done autopsies on 2024, and they all came up with the same message: move to the center. Democrats must recognize that Zohran Mamdani is the future of the party. Unfortunately, the Republican Party. Get it?
The drama surrounding Zohran Mamdani's meteoric rise didn't explode all at once. It built slowly, quietly, like a warning hum beneath the surface of American politics. And when the moment finally erupted into the mainstream, it wasn't the Republican Party sounding the alarm. It wasn't Fox News. It wasn't conservative pundits. It was Bill Maher, live on television, looking straight into the camera and telling Democrats that a political storm was not only coming, but already here. Mamdani's victory in the New York Democratic primary sent a shockwave through the country, not because he was an outsider or a surprise candidate, but because his ideology marked a point America had never reached before. For the first time in modern history, a self-declared socialist, armed with Marxist quotes, anti-capitalist rhetoric, and a promise to challenge nearly every foundational pillar of American governance, stood on the brink of becoming mayor of the most influential city in the nation. And as Democrats hesitated, stumbled, and struggled to find their footing, Maher stepped forward like the reluctant adult in a room full of people pretending nothing was wrong.
Mayoral election in New York, don't worry, you'll see it in every attack ad for the next 2 years.
Bill Maher once again slices through the political fog with the kind of blunt comedic real.
And if you missed his victory speech in last mayoral election in New York, don't worry, you'll see it in every attack ad for the next 2 years.
From the moment Mamdani's name began circulating, Maher knew exactly what was coming. He had seen this movie before. He had watched Democrats crown candidates they believed were bold and transformative, only to realize too late that they were political liabilities waiting to collapse under the weight of their own extremism. It was the same pattern he warned them about when Kamala Harris was pushed into the national spotlight. He predicted her collapse long before it happened. And when it did, spectacularly, the party acted shocked, as if the warning signs hadn't been flashing the entire time. Now, with Mamdani rising on the East Coast and figures like Katie Porter gaining momentum in the West, Maher saw déjà vu unfolding in real time. While others celebrated the historic nature of Mamdani's win, Maher went straight to the heart of the issue. He didn't need to exaggerate anything. He simply repeated Mamdani's own words, the same words many Democrats were pretending didn't exist. Prisons are obsolete. What purpose do they serve? The NYPD is racist, anti-queer, and a threat to public safety. Capitalism. He doesn't just criticize it. He rejects it outright, offering instead a worldview shaped by redistribution, state control, and ideological purity. When Mamdani quotes, "From each according to their ability, to each according to their need," he is inciting history. He's signaling allegiance to a system that collapses every time it's tried.
Mamdani is the future of the party. Unfortunately, it's the Republican Party. Get it? And if you missed his victory in last week's, Mamdani seems high, and I congratulate him on an extraordinary political achievement. But before the whole left side of catches socialism.
Still, some Democrats try to brush away Maher's concerns. They argue that every election creates a new boogeyman. They claim that the right always finds someone to vilify. They insisted Mamdani was just another figure the GOP would exaggerate into a threat. But Maher, visibly irritated, shut that down immediately. No one needs to invent anything about Mamdani. His words speak for themselves. His ideology speaks for itself. If he looks extreme, it's because he is extreme. And pretending otherwise won't save Democrats from the consequences. What truly stunned Maher wasn't Mamdani's radicalism, it was the silence from within his own party. New York is the media capital of the world, the financial artery of the American economy, and a bellwether city whose political shifts echo across the entire nation. The idea that a devout socialist could take control of such a city should have prompted instant pushback from moderate Democrats. Instead, Maher watched as many of them either stood by quietly or offered lukewarm comments that bordered on complicity. He couldn't believe that the very same party that once championed balanced governance was now flirting openly with extremist ideology. When one of Maher's guests tried to argue that Mamdani's influence would be limited, that one mayor couldn't reshape the country, Maher didn't hesitate. He wasn't worried about Mamdani building a socialist America. He was worried about what his election would trigger. To Maher, this wasn't a question of ideology. It was a question of political consequences. Elect a man who openly attacks capitalism, who mocks the very idea of private property, who champions government-run grocery stores and free municipal everything, and you hand Republicans the easiest campaign ad they've ever been given. It's not subtle. It's not hypothetical. Maher knows exactly how campaigns work, and he knows precisely what Republicans are going to do. In his mind, Democrats are handing the GOP a gift-wrap message. This is what happens when progressives take over. Conservatives don't need to smear Mamdani. They just need to play clips of him speaking. They just need to show voters who he is. And when Middle America, the voters who decide every national election, see those clips, Maher believes their reaction will be immediate and overwhelming. They're not interested in socialism. They're not impressed by radical experiments. They don't
fever. Let's listen to the other big winner in last Tuesday's election, Virginia Governor-elect Abigail Spanberger, who, before the 24th, it turned one of Latin America's richest countries into one of its poorest. Low wages, high inflation, shortages, outages.
One ideologues rewriting the economic system that has allowed millions to thrive. They want stability. They want jobs. They want opportunity. And Maher fears Democrats are on the verge of alienating those voters entirely. But the crisis goes deeper than one man. Maher sees the Democratic Party drifting toward an ideological cliff, driven less by pragmatism and more by academic fantasies that crumble upon contact with reality. Polls reveal growing support for democratic socialism among younger Democrats, who imagine it as some idealistic middle ground. Yet Maher knows what that really means. Democratic socialism is not a softer, kinder version of socialism. It's the same system, dressed in nicer language. It promises equality, but delivers stagnation. It demands fairness, but creates dependency. It sings about justice, but concentrates power in the hands of the state. And the Democrats embracing it are marching blindly toward a political future they will not recognize and may not survive. Maher isn't attacking them from the right. He isn't parroting conservative arguments. He's pleading with the party he's defended for decades to wake up and recognize that radicalism doesn't win national elections. It drives away moderates. It pushes independents into conservative arms. And worst of all, it fractures the very coalition Democrats need if they hope to remain competitive in a changing political landscape. Maher understands something many progressive activists ignore. America is not a socialist country. It never has been. It never will be. And trying to turn it into one will only guarantee defeat. The deeper Maher digs, the more alarming the picture becomes. He isn't just worried about Mamdani's ideology. He's worried about the symbolic power of his election. Because the mayor of New York isn't just a local leader. He becomes a national figure overnight. His policies become case studies. His speeches become national talking points. His failures become ammunition. And Maher knows exactly how fast that ammunition will be weaponized. In Maher's eyes, Mamdani is a walking advertisement for conservative resurgence. And he doesn't say that with glee. He says it with frustration, because he knows it doesn't have to be this way. The Democratic Party could ground itself in moderate, rational, reality-based policy. It could champion innovation, reform, and growth. It could embrace capitalism while fighting for fairness. It could lead boldly without chasing ideological fantasies. But instead, it's flirting with a platform that Americans will reject the moment it's tested. Yet the most chilling moment comes when Maher draws a straight line between Mamdani's rise and the outcome of the next national election. He's seen the pattern twice before. First with Hillary Clinton, then with Kamala Harris. And every time the party ignored his warnings, it paid the price. Now he sees the same signs again. The same arrogance. The same denial. The same refusal to learn from mistakes. And he believes Democrats are about to hand Republicans another victory, this time possibly a landslide. But Maher doesn't present this as a hopeless situation. He presents it as a crossroads. The Democratic Party can still recover. It can still recalibrate. It can still reclaim the center and build a platform that resonates with the majority of Americans. But it cannot do that by pretending socialist experiments are harmless. It cannot succeed by rubber stamping every new ideological trend that surfaces in progressive circles. It cannot survive by chasing dreams of universal everything while ignoring the economic realities that keep the nation functioning. Maher's message is clear. Democrats need to stop sleepwalking into political disasters. They need to stop brushing aside red flags. They need to stop assuming voters will simply adapt to radicalism. Because they won't. And when the consequences hit, as they always do, it won't be the activists who pay the price. It will be the country. And that is why Maher is speaking out now. Not to shame, not to mock, not to fearmonger, but to warn, to caution, to force a reckoning before it's too late. Because for him, this isn't about ideology. It's about survival, political and national.